trend is something that's sort of moving in one direction. The pace obviously varies. I mean, there's some things that move at an absolute snail's pace, and you wonder why you ever bothered with a wretched thing. I remember this was the case in crude oil prices in the early 1990s, that you kind of, it was scraping itself off the bottom, but boy, was it slow. And then suddenly they just pick up and they just go ballistic, you know. And how do I pick those? Well, obviously, what I'm going to use to pick those is going to vary depending on the pace. Okay, the most obvious one is trend lines, and then you know the thing has gone ballistic when only a parabolic sort of shaped trend line will sort of match your data. That's when you know that it's probably a mature trend and about to crash land at some point.
How do you avoid entering too early or too late?
Well, the too late is easy, as they said in the Wall Street crash in 1929. It was, you know, when the elevator attendant was giving you share tips. That was way too late. And nowadays, I suppose it's when the taxi driver is giving you share tips. You're too late, forget it, you know. The other one is when it's said to be a dead cert. And I have heard recently fund managers who should know better, who say that the only direction for the euro-dollar exchange rate is for the US dollar to appreciate even further. Dead cert? No, nothing is dead cert, neither in life nor in the markets. And when they're thinking like that, somebody's not thinking at all. So that's when it's too late. When it's too early, definitely I know, and I've been caught out by this time and time again, is when I'm trying to pick a bottom, a base. And I think, oh yeah, that's about done it. That'll do the trick. That'll do the trick. I did this with gold years and years and years ago, silver as well. Boy, that was expensive lesson I learned there. That I kept thinking, oh no, it cannot go on in a bear market for even longer. It cannot be a bear market for 25 years. Well, yes, it can. Oh, yes, and of course, the Japanese government bond market. God, did I learn my lesson pronto there. Thank goodness I learned it early, in sort of 1997. But that, yeah, if you're going to learn a lesson, learn it sooner rather than later.
How do you establish when momentum is about to be lost and a trend change direction?
Oh, that's really tricky. Again, I keep describing these markets as when they're sort of changing their spots, isn't it? Certainly when it had been going at a fairly steady clip, which is the perfect market, a steady clip, a steady trend is the perfect market, really. If it's been going at a fairly steady lick, and then it starts getting a bit messy. That's it. As soon as your charts get a bit messy and they're not looking like you thought, look again, look more closely, because it is sending almost subliminal messages to you that things are beginning to go pear-shaped. Yeah, I suppose it's that look out for anything that might give you a clue that it's beginning to go pear-shaped.